An incredible adventure and a true classic. This Italian spaghetti western film made over 20 times its $1.2 million budget when it was released in December of 1966. The carefully paced plot sees three criminals in America's Old West race to find a fortune of gold buried in a remote cemetery. The final chapter in the so-called Dollars trilogy, legendary western icon Clint Eastwood once again teams up with director Sergio Leone for one last grand epic. Eastwood's no-nonsense, badass, sharpshooting, man-with-no-name persona returns as well, this time as a somewhat sympathetic drifter known only as Blondie, a dubious distinction considering his gorgeous mane of brown hair. Although the film labels him as the good, Eastwood is no less evil than the other two, sharing loyalty or concern for no one. But still, the audience implicitly roots for him, if only because he's the coolest and best looking of the lot. With his menacing narrow eyes and pointed nose, Lee Van Cleef is excellent as the Bad, a ruthless killer who still abides by a gentlemanly code of combat. And rounding out the titular trio is Eli Wallach as the Ugly, an unfortunately cruel moniker I'm not sure he actually deserves. Not only does he receive the lion's share of screen time, but his performance is easily the best as well, bouncing from cowardice to confidence with a very believable delivery. Him and Eastwood begin the picture as uneasy allies in a bounty-collecting scheme, whereby Eastwood saves Wallach from the hangman's noose with a last-minute sniper shot. Later, when Eli attempts to renegotiate this tenuous partnership, Clint slyly threatens, "If we cut down my percentages, it's liable to interfere with my aim."
We sentence the accused here before us, Tuco Benedicto Pacifico Juan Maria Ramirez,
known as the Rat,
and any other aliases he might have, to hang by the neck until dead. May God have mercy on his soul. Proceed.
Rife with symbolic imagery and beautiful scenery, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is both a love letter to classic westerns as well as one of the genre's crowning achievements. And while the sprawling mountains of the Spanish countryside are a generally poor substitute for the Old West, the locations here are still impressive and majestic. The composition and framing all look decidedly modern, too, making excellent use of the wide anamorphic frame and frequently punching in for fierce close-ups, which all go great with the quick and inventive editing. Ashamedly, I had never seen this picture before this week, so when Italian composer Ennio Morricone finally won an Academy Award for his score to 2015's The Hateful Eight earlier this year, I didn't really agree with the selection. But now I understand. It's an obvious makeup award for his incredible work of decades past, because despite some extremely memorable anthems in this picture, The Good and the Bad and the Ugly wasn't nominated for a single Oscar. In fact, rated 9th all time, it's the highest rated movie on IMDb without one. And talk about being robbed, because holy shit, the score is something else. Powerful, goosebump-inducing music that figuratively knocked my socks off. The instantly recognizable title theme, as well as the climactic track The Ecstasy of Gold, are more than befitting this legendary period in American history. Bombastic orchestration that loudly swells during the picture's most intense moments and standoffs. As floored as I was by this cinematic adventure, it is not without its faults. At 2 hours and 41 minutes, it's definitely much longer than the thin story can support. A lengthy detour into a big-scale Civil War battle is undeniably impressive. A huge set piece involving an imploded bridge actually had to be shot twice, but it completely stalls the momentum of the picture. And while I appreciate how influential and accomplished Leone was, especially in reinvigorating the Western genre, the mix of spoken English and dubbed Italian is definitely distracting. With plenty of twists, turns, and action, this is a unique journey through the American Civil War, the best spaghetti western ever made, and a captivating experience. And here's what you had to say about it. Referring to it as a masterpiece, you love this film, especially its score, rating it a 10 out of 10. For me, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is a truly awesome film. That does it for this quick excerpt, but if you'd like to watch full episodes of Movie Night and submit your own reviews to be included on the show, please visit the Jogwheel YouTube channel. My name is Jonathan Paula, thanks for watching, and have a good movie night.